Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, my beautiful pen friends, and welcome to another video with your host, Andrew. So, I thought what we'd do today is have a long-term review of this Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero. So let's roll those credits, find out what this pen is like about 8 months down the line. Okay, everyone, let's have a look at this. This is the Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in Blue Hawaii, and this is a absolutely gorgeous pen. Now, I have done a review on this pen before, but I thought it would be quite fun just to do a long-term review. Think about what my thoughts and opinions are of this pen 8 months down the line, and whether this pen may be for you. We can often get sort of sidetracked. We can also get tempted by new pens and all those lovely shiny colours, and then after about 3 or 4 weeks you then start thinking, ooh, something else which is a little bit more shiny. So from a long-term investment, is this pen worth it? Well, stick to the end of this video and I'll give you a little bit of a hint to whether it is or not. So what we'll do is we're going to talk about the parts of this pen, we'll do a writing sample, and at the very end I will talk about my thoughts and opinions of this pen and whether you should buy it as a long-term investment. Okay, so let's start off from the top. So we've got a conical top, which is quite exaggerated. Comes down onto a pen cap, which tapers all the way down to 3 silver rings. But before we get to there, we've also got this lovely Italian style roller clip. Absolutely practical, fantastic. Slips into a pocket with great ease, thanks to a little roller ball on the bottom. Absolutely beautiful. Very sort of very reminiscent, I should say, of the Omas pens, which is a great thing. So fantastic. Right, let's just take the cap off. Underneath, we have got a medium steel nib with a plastic feed. This one was tuned by Emmy at Pen Venture, so thank you very much. Details to his shop down below. If we take off the barrel from the section, we have got a cartridge converter, which is also branded. Very nice. Whilst I'm also at it, well, let's just stick up the actual size measurements of this pen before I forget. So there we go, we've got the size, dimensions and ink filling capacities of this pen, which I don't think I included in the first review. So there we go, something to look at. We then come to a silver ring, which is on the main body. We've got this nicely imprinted laser etched logo. Let's hold it the right way. I have infilled that myself, just so it is a little bit more apparent. And then it tapers down to a silver ring, and then onto a blind cap, which you can operate. Let's take that off, like so, and then you can actually operate it. Okay, with the actual cartridge converter inside, I should say, not just operate it. So yeah, it really is a absolutely fantastic looking pen. I'll talk more about that though in my thoughts and opinions. Okay, so let's move on to doing a writing sample with this pen, and then I'll give you my thoughts after. There won't be any size comparisons today, just because we really want to focus on this pen itself. So join me over in the writing sample and we'll see how this pen performs. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here we go. We've got the Leonardo. I'm going to write just Momento Zero for today. And we've got a medium steel nib. And the ink is Diamine Royal Blue. Wonderful. Okay, we'll write out the quick brown fox. There we go. Right, so now let's just do some figure of eights. As you can see, this nib is pretty springy, which is very nice. I wouldn't mind getting an extra fine version of this nib just to see how it performs as well in relation. If I could get an extra fine to this line, oh, I would be so overjoyed. So this is under regular writing. There, I'm giving it a few bits of pressure. There you go. So you can really see that we're going to quite a lot of line variation there for a steel nib, which is beautiful. Okay, let's just test the wetness of this pen. So that's one pass. I should also mention I am doing this on rhodia paper, and it seems to absorb the ink pretty quickly. And that's two passes, so just a little bit more wetness in there. Okay, so that is it for the wetness. Let's see if this can reverse right. You can, it's a little bit scratchy, but for sort of drawing purposes, you know, if you wanted to get something a little bit more expressive with just the actual reverse of this, you can. And of course, you know, if you really want to give it a little bit of shading there, you can go back into regular writing mode and you've got something quite nice. Very nice. Okay, so that's it really for the writing sample. Let's just go on to talking about this pen and whether or not it is worth the money 8 months down the line. Right, ladies and gentlemen, so who is this pen for and who is it not for? Okay, well, let's talk about who it's for to start with, because that's going to be way easier to actually to recommend. Right, so like I said, this is a very comfy pen to hold. It provides a fantastic, reliable writing experience. I have not had any issues with this medium nib. The fine nib I did, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Leonardo have got an absolutely exquisite range of colours available for the Momento Zero, and if you want to get some of the previous year generations, you can actually find some pretty good deals on those, so definitely worth checking out. Although this Momento Zero material is very popular, and I don't think that has had any price reductions as I am aware of. But what with Fountain Pen Day coming up, there may be some reductions from your favourite shop, so do check that out. Yeah, the materials really are very good. If there isn't something which you can see in the range, you know, don't hesitate. Try and reach out to Salvatore, and he may be able to accommodate you in terms of getting you something a little bit different. And I'll talk about that. I'm going to do a little news section at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Right, so who is this pen not for? Well, as I say, I mean, I've got medium-sized hands, and I find this pen very comfy. But if you've got much larger hands, you might want to consider going down the Grande route. Even though it's a little bit more expensive, it's maybe worth it for you. That's it really in a nutshell. 8 months on though, how am I finding this pen? Well, I still use it quite frequently, although I have found myself gravitating more to finer nibs. So I think maybe that is what I'm going to have to do next, is purchase myself a fine nib for this pen, just so that I have a little bit more of a writing experience. It's nothing, you know, nothing wrong with the medium nib. If I hold up the writing sample, it is a perfectly good pen. But I do like the expression that I get from finer nibs, and that has been my preference of late. Right, so yeah, that's it really for this pen. So thank you for listening. Now on to a little bit of news, specifically Leonardo news. I'm just going to put up a picture now, and yes, what you are seeing is a demonstrator. Now this is going to be a limited edition, I believe, which is done with Stilo style, I believe in Italy. I may be incorrect, but I believe they are based in Italy, and oh, it does look absolutely fantastic. Just look at that frosted finish on the acrylic, and the fact that it's got the 2020 piston in there. You can see all the internals as well, which I think looks absolutely brilliant. Also, just recently on my newsfeed, some Saft Green popped up on Leonardo's timeline, on their stories, sorry. And I got in contact with Salvatore, and yes, they are going to be doing some Momento Zero Grandes with that. Prices have been told to me, but I don't know if that is public, and I think that is something which you have to get into contact with Salvatore if you are interested. So that's it really in a nutshell. Thank you ever so much for your support on the channel. I am now on 477 subscribers thanks to you lovely lots. So thank you for subscribing. If there is more content you would like to see, please do let me know. Do you want to see more fountain pens? Do you want to see more inks? More papers maybe, because I haven't done paper very much. Also, we have got Fountain Pen Day coming up next week. Oh, looking forward to that. So look out for those special deals. That might be the time to start thinking about your Christmas presents, ladies and gentlemen. For a loved one or someone who loves fountain pens, good time to start thinking about that. Anyway, that really leads me on to saying thank you once again. Don't forget to comment, subscribe and like if you like the content and want to see any more of this in the future. And I will see you next week. Till then, stay safe and goodbye.